Good afternoon and welcome everybody. Welcome VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Trending Thursday. Another great day in the markets. I'm seeing the major indices on the march even higher as of today. Now, as we take a look at the VectorVest 7 software, just looking at the major indices here, they're all moving upwards. The Dow Jones leading the charge, 0.64%. I like what I see here. Now, the alert should have just hit, so we'll give everyone just a moment to make their way into the room here. Let me move this camera up a little bit. I think it's catching my monitor. There we go. All right, much better, much better. Now, if you can hear me, if you can see me, if all the technicals look good, just put VV in the comment section. Make sure we can, you can hear me loud and clear today on this beautiful Thursday. Jazz says UAMY. Well, Jazz, good thing tonight's video is going to be on rare earths. The focus is with MP. If you haven't heard already, they got a huge partnership. Pentagon. I said it in the live stream, I think last week or the week before, and that was even if there is some kind of China deal, whatever, on the rare earth elements, critical minerals, depending on what your stocks you're buying. UAMY is critical mineral. USAR, MP, that's more of the rare earth side of things. But that being said, we still had to have a plan to get off of Chinese independence, right? So the Trump administration, I'm not surprised by this. The Pentagon just stepping in, a huge investment in MP right now. The stock is up over 40%. Woo! So you can tell that the other ones, UAMY, some of the other ones are moving with it. Check out tonight's video. That's all we're going to talk about in tonight's video. There's 4 stocks. I think UUU is one, MP, USAR, and then UAMY. NC was named the best state for business by CNBC again. Bill, funny you say that. Yes, I did do a story from that and actually picked a stock, a homegrown North Carolina stock. It's got exposure to defense. It's got exposure to quantum. Great stock. It's not a high-flying stock. It's not a crazy off-the-wall momentum play. It's actually a real decent company, an industrial play. It's down slightly today, but overall, we'll take a look at it in the VectorVest 7 software. But hey, the momentum, everything else with the color guard looks good. Actually, I don't think we're supposed to do the color guard, but we're going to do it anyways. We'll see. We got one yellow light right now, RT, right? 1.12. It's still higher than it was yesterday. It's just coming off some of that momentum last week, right? And then tomorrow, it'll come off of that 1.13. So if there's not any more momentum to the upside, probably get another yellow light in the RT relative timing. But look at the price action of VectorVest Composite. It keeps climbing and climbing. We're at 74.13, giving us a little bit of a buffer zone from 5 days ago. The primary wave signal, 73.43, right? Now, that had me a little concerned yesterday because I saw the close yesterday was at 73.77. And if we compare that to today, if we didn't get any more upside momentum, we would have been flirting with that primary wave down signal, especially come tomorrow when we come off of that 73.9, right? So we need that momentum to the upside. Thomas says, lost sound, question mark.
All good here.
Joey says it's all good. Just put in the comment section. Let us know that you can hear. 74.55 is the VectorVest closing high. We're approaching it. We are approaching it. Again, we've been talking about the July high, and I know we've got them on, the NASDAQ. I think the S&P, right? Dow Jones. I have to take a look at the chart. I'm pretty sure all 3 of them hit a new high. But the VectorVest Composite has not. Can hear you loud and clear. All right. Everything's good on the audio. All right. So let's go ahead and go into some news stories, see what's moving the market right now. There's definitely some big movers in the market. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to bring this one over here since Bill, you mentioned it. Oh, wait. There we go. Try to drag this over. There we go. All right. I did this last year. Actually, I think I did a short on it because I wasn't doing, too many of the live streams. North Carolina, back at it. North Carolina is America's top state for business in 2025. Strong workforce, strong economy. Look at this. It captures its 3rd top state's crown in the last 4 years. It missed the top spot by just 3 points last year. So North Carolina, I do have a stock from North Carolina. I will tell you that here in just a moment when we get into the watch list of all the stocks from the news stories. But it's a good stock. Again, it has exposure to defense, has exposure to quantum. It's an industrial play. Great company based here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Second story is this Kiplinger here, GDP outlook, second quarter GDP data. That's what I've been talking about. The date is here. It's going to be released July 30th. We are, what's today's date? The 10th. So 20 days away, 3 weeks away from the GDP data. Again, this is what will tell us if we're going to be in a recession or not, right? First quarter was negative. But right now, the estimates, 3 to 4% at the moment in positive territory. So that, is pushing those recession fears kind of to the back burner. So, just to keep you updated here, the GDP data will be coming out at the end of this month. But it doesn't look like we're going to be any kind of recession there. Right now, estimates coming in at 3 to 4% to the upside. Next story, Google. Buying opportunities like this don't come often. This is from analysis at Seeking Alpha here. Remains a strong buy, trading at just 19 multiple, right? Despite robust growth in cloud, AI, and digital ads. Google's got their hands in everything. You got Waymo, right? Going up against Tesla. You got YouTube going up against Netflix. You got the cloud business. Amazon, Microsoft, pick one here. But the company, it's rock and rolling. And I'm not surprised at all that this article focuses on the valuation of Google right now. I know we don't really use a multiple method here at VectorVest, but if we compare it to our VectorVest metrics, it does come in undervalued. Google still remains one of my top Mag 7 picks, along with Meta, along with NVIDIA. Bah humbug. Let me scoot this up here. There we go. John says, Massachusetts is last for business. They tax and tax and tax and tax until everyone leaves. I thought that was New Jersey, John. That's why my family left New Jersey and New York. Too many taxes, too expensive. Came down here to the south, to North Carolina. But again, North Carolina taking one of the top spots here. And Google, I like Google, but we'll take a look at the chart, see what kind of opportunities presents for Google. As far as investment, definitely can get on the Google investment bandwagon. As far as any kind of short-term swing trades, we'll take a look at Google here in just a moment. Next story, we got why OPEC Plus is pumping fast and playing hardball. I've been talking about this. We actually talked about it with Steve Chappell on the Afternoon Market Action live stream yesterday with the channel that oil is in. We looked at the oil sector. It's currently in a channel right now. Oil under pressure, right? Talked about this last week. OPEC finally, really wants to compete. OPEC's been trying to cut supply to raise prices, right? Well, the Trump administration, the slogan, drill, baby, drill. So they've lost a lot of market share, right? So right now they're not too concerned about keeping prices high. They're more concerned about keeping their market share when it comes to oil. You can see, look at this. Instead of widely expected 411,000 barrels per day, the group of 8, led by Saudi Arabia and Russia, decided 548,000 barrels per day, right? Supersized hike. So they're about to saturate the markets right now. A steady global economic outlook and a current healthy market fundamentals as reflected in low oil inventories. Avoid those movies year round. Are you watching Christmas in July movies on the Hallmark Channel? Oh, that's funny. That is funny. I forgot it is going to be Christmas in July here real soon, actually. But as far as oil, nothing coming out saying, hey, let's go play the oil trade. I know typically the oil, it can spike, hurricane, weather related issues, summer traveling. Usually, oil prices do well in the summer, right? Not right now. They're pretty much under pressure. So if you're thinking about oil, if you're holding oil, I'm going to be more often than not bearish on the oil space, petro space. There might be some opportunities here and there. But that being said, just with the market getting saturated and oil itself, the commodity getting hit as far as the price, I can't get too excited about oil at this time. Now, some other stocks to mention, right? This is Yahoo Finance. We got AMD, Roku upgraded. Those two are big movers today. AMD, which by HBC, HSBC here was $100. There it is, $100 to now $200. $100 jump in here. AMD is up today. I saw it. I think it's in the 140 still currently. So definitely a big stock to have on your radar here. We've got MP, $400 million Department of Defense investment to boost U.S. rare earth manufacturing. $500 million. It's a huge investment. I know one of the plants was going to be, they're building a second or an additional magnet smelter kind of thing. So they're going to try to make that company as big as they can, the Pentagon. And they locked in some prices. Again, watch tonight's 6 p.m. video. A lot of good things in that contract. No, I'm not saying go jump into it today after it just popped 40%. Have some patience. There's some levels on the chart that I go over this evening. Now, Roku, and they where was it? Raises price target to 115, citing profitability by 2026 and continued ad growth, boosting the stock's momentum. This is an analyst from KeyBank. So a lot of upgrades in the market right now. Next story, we got Delta. Look at the shares jumping 11%. Third quarter earnings and revenue forecast topped estimates. Delta expects 2025 adjusted earnings. Look at this. $5.25 and $6.25 a share, down from a January forecast, more than $7.35 a share. Still up 12% though, even after that forecast revision. You can see, where's it at here? Delta shares up 11%. Where's it at here? Oh, here it is. Earnings came in. Expected 2.05. If we take a look at revenue here, revenue came in 15.4. So it definitely beat on both. So that's a good way to start off earnings this quarter. Definitely a good way to start off earnings this quarter. Let's see your first class. Oh, here it is, from the lucrative American Express partnership, which increased 10% in the second quarter. $2 billion. Airlines have become more reliant on travelers who are willing to spend more to fly rather than more price-sensitive consumers, right? They're aiming for the upper echelon of the consumer base. Now, the other big mover today, making a lot of noise today, I actually did a short on this earlier, Ferrero, the company behind Ferrero Rocher, those delicious little chocolate things wrapped in gold. They came out, looks like this, $3.1 billion for Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes. $3.1 billion. That being said, look, stock, it's up 30% right now. Whew. And this, most of the move here, you can see it soared 30% in pre-market trading. We'll take a look at the intraday chart here. See if there's any kind of follow through coming from that intraday chart, from that movement here. Ryan, did you happen to see Glenn yesterday? I hope he was doing well. I saw him Monday. He seemed to be doing very well. He's just, going through his recovery process. As far as a timeline of him coming back, or if he's coming back, anything like that, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to try to, feed you false hopes or feed you any information. I don't know. All I know is he's just going through his recovery right now. And he seemed in really good spirits. I will say that. Seemed in very good spirits. But as soon as, we can, we got to respect him and his family, but as soon as we can, let out more information, most certainly will do. John, I gave up cereal in the 90s, full of junk. Didn't they just ban like a bunch of, the dyes and the chemicals? And we all found out the cereal we were eating in the 90s really isn't good for us at all. I don't really eat too much cereal anymore, but yes, I definitely grew up on it in the 90s and the early 2000s. All right, let's jump into the VectorVest 7 software, see if any of the stocks mentioned here got some opportunities ahead. Over here, go to the viewers tab. Debbie, Glenn, this was going on 3 weeks now. There was a statement made, but Glenn had a stroke, Debbie. I'm not going to give too much more information than that, but that was the official statement. He is okay. He is stable. He's recovering. The worst is behind him. And now we're just focused on, the rehabilitation and the recovery and all that stuff from the stroke. But yeah, as far as that, Debbie, yes, that happened. I believe it was 3 weeks. Is that right, Joey? It's been 3 weeks now?
Yeah, I believe that's pretty close.
Pretty close. Okay. John says, now I know why Lucky Charms were magically delicious. It was all the chemicals. Yeah, right. Nothing like some chemicals to wake you up in the morning, right? All right, so let's see. Let's go to the news stocks first. Those are the big movers here. All right, we got AMD, Google, MP, Kellogg, Delta, Roku, Honeywell. Honeywell is the North Carolina play. Based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Got a big, beautiful building. No pun intended on that saying, actually. In Uptown Charlotte. And then at the bottom, we got U.S. oil. Again, I'm bearish on oil. This is just an ETF in general, just tracking oil, right? So just, not saying I'm bullish on oil or go buy USO. No, I'm bearish. So if you're going to do anything, Google some bearish ETFs. I just wanted to say that, oil is down today, right? Honeywell, pretty flat over the other stocks, down 0.5% here. AMD up 4%. Big movers. Look, MP seeing that follow through now at 48% to the upside. Kellogg up 30% to the upside. Delta 13%. Roku 2% here. Now, if I'm going to find some investment opportunities in these stocks, I'm going to resort them by RV, right? Look at the long-term price appreciation potential. You got AMD, top of the list here, undervalued. We've had it 153. Google, second to the top of the list here. That's actually tied with AMD. The only reason why AMD shows up first because, alphabetically. But look at the valuation there. 262 is trading at 178. I just read the article and it's got its hands in everything. High relative safety rating. Google, Alphabet, AMD, great long-term picks for sure here. RV favorable. Kellogg, 1.14. What I find interesting here, look at this. They bought them, looks like at a pretty good valuation here because we valued the company $25. Even with the 30% move to the upside, it's only bringing it to $22.86. So it's still slightly undervalued. Still might be some opportunities there, right? If you can't pronounce an ingredient, it should be avoided. I'm not going to disagree with that, Bill. I'm not going to, the older I get, the less chemicals I want in my food. Amir, did I miss a lot? Amir, you did miss a lot. We even talked about SMCI, buddy. I hate it for you. You'll have to rewind it. I'm just messing. Amir, are you still holding SMCI? I'm just curious because I know it was breaking out of that channel to the upside, so I didn't know if you were still dilly-daddling with old SMCI. Maybe we'll take a look at that here and see what's going on. What do you think of the market? Is it time to buy SQQ and SDAL? I think if you're buying those right now, you're taking hits. You know what we could do? There's a graph layout and the market timing graph. We'll take a look at it after these stock picks, and we'll see if there's any weakness. But, the weakness I would have seen is if the VectorVest composite didn't jump up today or was stagnant. And that primary wave metrics, again, looking at VectorVest composite 5 days ago, was kind of catching up there, right? That little buffer zone, the primary wave is getting smaller and smaller. Now it's widening up. So, that being said, I'm not going to be of the mindset of shorting right now, but we'll definitely take a look at the market timing graph and see if there's any signs of weakness coming up, right? Because other than the MTI really high, maybe the VectorVest composites just wait on its July high moment, right? It has not had its July high moment. We'll take a look at that as well. That's also a good thing to look at. Maybe once the VectorVest composite hit its July high, then that, the essays I talk about with Dr. Alito back in the day, then maybe, since that has came to fruition, the market will pull back. But right now, it's looking pretty good. And honestly, with the recession news, pretty much off the table, it looks like. We're just looking at that report of, the estimates about 3-4% of GDP growth. Again, that will be announced July 30th. Because if it's negative and we're in a recession, don't be caught off guard. But if it's positive and it's looking positive, investors are going to shake that off, right? Jerry just closed SDAL. Okay. Yeah, so he probably maybe have opened up SDAL because he was maybe looking at the same thing I was. We had a slight weakness in that buffer, with the primary wave and the VectorVest composite, but it never really came to fruition. So again, if you are going to do SDAL, if you are going to do SQQQ, just make sure you got a plan in place and you got some kind of stop in place, right? In just case the market keeps on rallying. Nice to see you, Ryan. Akshaya, sorry to join late. What are we buying, Ryan? I like that. Buying Ryan. Maybe that should be the nickname. Maybe that could be my call tag. Buying Ryan. Amir, thank you all. Let's see here. Market keep going up. Yeah. I'm not going to fight the trend of the market. Again, we'll take a look at the VectorVest composite and just see if there's any weakness at some point. But getting back to these stocks here, RV, these are going to be your long-term stocks. You want safety in the market right now? Say you want to squeeze the last few bucks out of this rally, or how many bucks, no one really knows is left. These are going to be your safer picks here. Look, AMD, Google at the top of the list. Honorable mention here. We got Honeywell with a favorable RS rating, right? Now, if you're looking for momentum, see what's moving still. MP, obviously, it's up 48%, right? I'm not going to tell you jump in a stock that just jumped up 48%. No, not unless you're a trader, unless you're disciplined and you got some time to look at it, right? Otherwise, watch the video tonight because there's a level. If it does pull back, be a really good entry level if you got some patience on MP. Because honestly, everything I read with this defense contract, essentially Pentagon is making sure this company expands every bit of its operations. So that way they don't have to depend on China. You'll need a partner buying, Ryan. How about Stellan Helen? Oh, man. Selling Helen. Selling Helen. I like it. Did you see MP News? Government owned now. Yes, Akshay. The video tonight I recorded this morning. It's on MP. I put the usual suspects in there. USAR, UAMY, UUU. They're all up today. So I just thought, be a good point. Make the video. I know I've talked about it. A lot of you guys and gals may have bought some of these positions. So I wanted to keep you up there. UAMY, good thing about that stock, it's been pulling back. It's got the sell rating because, got way overextended. But now there are some opportunities looking like it's going to present itself. I do talk about that in the video as well tonight. I did hit a nice pivot level not too long ago. Let's see here. Let's go in the graphs for these charts here. For my graph layout, I'm going to use, because this is an experimental layout that I was messing around with. A bunch of moving averages of RT, which I like moving averages of RT a lot. All right, here's MP, right? Mixed forecasted data. This is level year 39. But again, it's giving a lot of those gains away. Let's look at the one-day intraday chart, right? We had the big gap up here, but now we're in a big range of consolidation. So if you're looking at this thing intraday and you're looking to play it, whether to the upside or downside, this be the upside here around 47. 47 is some change to the breakout to the upside, and to the downside around 43. Right now we're kind of in the middle, 44, right? Slightly lower than the middle here. So not much direction. So I'm not going to tell you what, be bullish or bearish. Wait for the breakout here, right? But overall, as far as investment, as far as the long term, I like MP. I definitely think you might get a deal, a cheaper price if you got the patience for it. But we'll see, because Pentagon that's huge deal Pentagon just did. I got out of SoFi too early. Ryan, is MP the only option in the USA? What about MET-C? We'll take a look at MET-C, actually. What is MET-C? MP is the only one that actually owns and operates a rare earth mine. It's in California. Ooh, what was the name of that mountain? Something Hill. It's in California. Let's see here. Metic. This is Romerico View Full Stock Analysis Report. Let's see what we got here. Development of coal mining properties. The firm deals with coal, Central West Virginia. So this might play on that coal ash. But yeah, they'll probably have some exposure to it. But coal ash, I did a story, my last rare earths thing, was about the coal ash, right? All this coal ash, bad for the environment. Well, comes to find out, there's a bunch of lot of rare earths in here, right? So not only did, the government and, these energy companies want to clean up this mess, to pay for it. It would cost a lot of money, but now they have an incentive to clean up this mess, because that mess is worth a lot of money, right? So just saying. Well, tight base, not a big mover, but a solid company. You can't put all your money in X-Row and AMD. I definitely don't put all my money in X-Row. AMD, I'd be a little bit more, I wouldn't put all my money in any stock, but I'd be more inclined as far as AMD as an investment than X-Row. Meta, yeah, it's a mining company. Yeah, I see that, Akshay. Interesting. All right, let's go through these charts here. There's a couple things I want to show you, and then we'll get to your stock picks. But yeah, no follow through from the open all the way down. A little bit of a wick here, but you can see it in this channel. Let's get a breakout, see what happens. Let's go to 3 months here. Metco, another, oh, look at this. This is the company here. Big update today. We got a big wick coming up here. Breakout from the prior high. Forecast data, both negative, falling earnings. I'm going to treat it like a momentum play. Maybe tighten it up, see what the 8-day EMA looks like. 20 days, a little overextended from the 20. Here's Dallas. Nice pivot off of this 20-day EMA. Look at the valuation. It was undervalued. Now it is greatly overvalued here after the earnings. I see the bottom wick coming in at 57. Let's go to 6 months here. We've got a lot of room to go till we get to a prior high of $69, about $10 there. Here we've got Kellogg, KLG, another real big mover today, coming in at $22.87, undervalued. So even after the big move here, the VectorVest still thinks it's undervalued. Amir, should we buy luxury traveling stocks again? Luxury stuff. What do you think of BBAI warrants? Well, take a look at BBAI. There's been no follow through since I've done the BBAI video, and I talked about that pivot. I even said, look out between like $5, $5.50 on a severe pullback. But yeah, just be careful if you're holding BBAI right now. Actually, I haven't even looked at it today. I'm curious what it's doing. But as far as Kellogg, not much trade. All the deal is done here. It doesn't look like there's much momentum after the gap up. So, if you are trading, probably pretty lackluster as far as Kellogg. Here's Roku. Look at this. Steady Eddie, lower left, upper right. You see my zone here as of resistance. Approaching that zone right now. If you want some confirmation, look over $91, about $91.57. Currently trading at $90.55. As long as it stays above that 20-day EMA, let it ride. We got growth rate, 24%. Sales growth rate, 16%. EPS, look, it's negative, but it's definitely improving. It was down 60 cents, but now it's down, 15 cents? So it is improving quite a bit here. AMD, I wish I had all my money in AMD. As much as I talk about it, I like it. Had an upgrade today. It was an HSBC analyst, went from $100 to $200. I don't know. I think AMD might be leaving the station. I don't think it's going to be approaching $100 again. We'll see. Unless there's severe economic pullback or something. But I track AMD quite a bit, and I'd be shocked to see if it hits $100 again. But as far as AMD, let's see where some resistance might come into play here. I'm thinking right around here. What is this one here? Well, we're already breaking into this. Right in there. Yeah, I think it might just find its way into the 150s here soon, depending on what the market does. But I like it. I like it a lot. Ryan, I wonder if KHC is a buyout. Interesting. Glenn is doing good. Recovery's going well. G, thank you. Thank you for NEGG call, Ryan. Hey, how about this? I was just talking about Joey with this crap. I do a video on BBAI. It gets like 20,000 views. Stock doesn't do nothing. And the only reason why I did BBAI in the first place is because it has, good trending stuff on YouTube. Yeah, I do like, what it can do and some of the applications and stuff, but it's overbought. It's momentum trade. NEGG, great short squeeze candidate. Not on too many people's radar. Maybe I'm just, ahead of the curve. Barely anybody watched that video, and the stock I think is up like 60% since I did it. So I'm going to show you a trick. And that trick is the videos that got the small amount of views, for some reason, have the best results. I'm telling you right now. And because most likely the reason the videos have the big views is because I'm doing those videos because of the big views, right? And I try to just give you a non-biased opinion, whatever the stock may be. But NEGG, put it on your radar. It's a short candidate. I would have to take a look at it, see what it's doing now. But it's up at like 60% in 2 days, so be careful. Markets is overbought. Profits should be cashed. I definitely think having your stops in place right now is key, right? If your stops aren't being triggered, I don't know what kind of stops you got, but if it's too much wiggle room right now, if you had some wiggle room coming off the base, that's fine. But now that if you think we're at a top, tighten those stops up a little bit, right? Worst case scenario, you get stopped out at the top of the market, right? With a good amount of profit, right? So We'll see. Your AMD call in April was excellent. I was planning on buying Leaps, but I didn't. Sigh. John, I know the feeling. But John, I did pay off $8,000 in credit card debt, so I'm debt free. I'm waiting for the next time the MTI, goes low. I'm going in for some Leaps, John. I'm saving up for Leaps now. But I got the patience. I do this every day. I'm not going to just go buy Leaps right now. Why would I do that? When, at some point in the future, MTI is going to go back down. And we're going to have some great opportunities for Leaps in the semiconductors. And maybe I'll do a video on Leaps and semiconductors. But yeah, so right now I'm saving up money for some long-term option investments next time MTI goes low. But right now we got AMD, look, lower left. This nice 45-degree angle. I mean, there's not much more to say. It's beautiful right now. As long as it stays above this green line, this blue line, I'm not going to be that concerned. Honeywell, this is that North Carolina play. I'm telling you, Honeywell, it's in the quantum watch list. They got exposure to quantum, defense. Was it the Abrams tanks they do the engines for? They got their hands in everything. Honeywell, remember it. If you're not familiar with the company, look at that. It was 190. Now it's at 237. I'm not going to say this is, high flying, stock that's going to bring a lot of excitement to your portfolio. But it's a good company overall. Look at the growth rate, 6%, sales growth rate, 8%. If we go to a year chart here, it was around 220. Now it's around 237. I know it does pay a dividend. Like I said, it's not an exciting company, but it's got a lot of things in the works right now. You can see a nice momentum to the upside. It's rolling over right now. If I was going to look for any kind of pivot, it'd probably be around here, around 229, 230 level. And maybe we'll catch that 20-day EMA if it does come back to that level. That would be a nice little trade setup. And honestly, if you do trade options, I know this is optionable. Stock's not very volatile, so you might be able to do a nice swing trade just using options here, since the stock itself isn't very volatile. Ryan, that is awesome. 8K and no debt. I bought SPY calls when the BSH was 0.03, and those calls are up 400% September. John, that's what I'm talking about. You just gotta have some patience. Save some money, have some cash ready when the opportunities present themselves. That's exactly why everyone's talking about taking profits when the market's high right now, right? You got the right idea. The people who aren't talking about taking profit, even if you haven't done it yet, but at least it's on your mind, right? Again, if you have a stock for, 20 years, yeah, you may not just be taking some profits randomly right now. But if you're swing trading, more interim trading. HON was a question on Jeopardy last night. Okay. HON going to split into 3 companies like GE did. I wouldn't be surprised because they are very diversified. Do your research on Honeywell, but again, a great, very well. It's not, it's kind of known, but it's not, real fame. I don't know. Who most of y'all heard of Honeywell before? Well, this is a pretty educated room, I would think. Some of you, right? So maybe me. Amir, thank you for info on Glenn. Tell him I'm praying for him every day. God will save him, and he will be stronger than ever and won't make him upset anymore. I'm very careful now. Amir, that is a very sincere comment. Thank you for that. I know he would love that and appreciate that. I have done this several times at SPY calls with low BSR over the years. Yeah, John, I'm telling you, it's all about just having some patience. Fits on Honey, buy the deeps. But yeah, look at the breakup scenario. That could be potential. I wouldn't be surprised, but it's kind of like a GE, General Electric. It's not a huge growth company, but it could be a good dividend company, especially when you see some good dips here, right? Some good buying opportunity. This company ain't going anywhere. They've got they're at their hands in everything. And actually, let me scoot me over here. There we go. I floated across the screen. Look at Google. This is the underdog stock right here. Look at the valuation on the rise. The price action on the rise. It's just nice, steady fashion to the upside. But it's such a great valuation, such a compelling stock to have in your portfolio. Honeywell, the thermostat king. Yeah, they got their, they do make thermostat. They make all kinds of random things. When can we expect Glenn back? Any updates? Is he home? He is not home. He's still at the hospital as far as I know. As far as he's coming back, anything like that, I do not have any updates right now. I do not have any updates. And it could be a couple weeks before there is a real update. I just don't know. But he's doing well. He's in good spirits, and he is recovering right now. Let's see here. Thursday is pizza day. Hey, pizza does not sound bad today. But yeah, again, Google, if you're looking for a big cap company, a nice value play here, Google, definitely have it on your radar. I know the MTI is high right now, so if you're thinking more long term, maybe wait. But if you're thinking about a trade or maybe capture a couple bucks while the market's still rallying, take a look at Google. USO, lower left, upper right, right? But since that news with OPEC, right here, as I'm circling my mouse, it's on the downtrend. You can see it. Look, it's losing that bullish momentum here. Actually about to drop below that 20-day EMA. Just be careful when it comes to oil in general right now. It's not showing a strong trend either way, but I definitely can't get too bullish behind it right now. All right, real quick, I do want to look at, Vertiv. I want to look at NBIS. Nibius. It's Nibius or Nibius. There, duh. NBIS. That's what it is. Duh. Oh. NEGG. We'll take a look at NEGG. And the BBAI. Let me put this on here. All right, here's NEGG. Look at that, coming in at 25.67. This is the short squeeze candidate I gave you Tuesday evening, which would have been right here. The close that day was at 18.71. Since then, since the video is now at 25.70. I mean, this stock is rock and rolling. This is an old short squeeze candidate from the COVID days, the AMC, the GameStop days, right? If you don't know what they do, they actually have like their annual sale, kind of like their Prime Day kind of thing, but they just sell computer components. If you're a computer nerd, if you like semiconductors, graphics cards, things of that nature, you've probably heard of this company before, but if not, that's what they do. That is what they do. But look at momentum to the upside. If I got you in here and if you're making some money right now, I'm glad you are. I'm glad you are. We've got Vertiv Holdings here. Look at this, Vertiv Holdings, big bottom wick coming into place here, right at my support zone, this consolidation zone that we saw here. I like this. Right off this 20-day EMA, this might just be a blast off this 20-day EMA. So if you're looking for a trade setup in the making right now, this is at Vertiv Holdings here. This is an AI play, semiconductor play, that kind of thing. Forecasted data, phenomenal, 28, 24% respectively. Take a 1-year chart here. Look at that. We got a big old gap to fill too. Big old gap to fill. We could take out this prior high 2 days ago. This gap comes into play. I mean, that's a big old gap here. 145. Ooh, some big moves to the upside here. All right, let's scroll down. We got NBIS. Okay, so consolidation zone. It broke below it. So if you are in it, this is the zone I was talking about from the video I did. 20-day EMA just broke below it here. Be careful if you're looking for a little pivot on the bottom. You might got one here, maybe here, probably in this zone, probably about 43, 41. Look for the pullback to that level. See if there's any kind of nice pivot there. Is data center cooling? Yeah. You talk about VRT, Bill? I forgot exactly what they did, Vertiv Holdings, but I know it's like AI data centers, right? Is that what it is, Bill? They do data center cooling? Yeah, okay. That's it. Gotcha. Thank you, Bill. Sezzle crapped its pants today. Let's take a look at Sezzle after this. BigBear.ai, again, when I did the video Monday, just zero follow through. 0 follow through, right? Got this big wick here. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So Monday night came out, shot up, came right back down. Big. Not much of a wick there. And actually, just, you see this fast lane? You see the fast lane? Well, I know it's not yellow right now. Let's change this. I don't know why it changed colors on me. Change this to yellow real quick. All right. So we're actually finding a level of support here right at this fast lane. If we get a little bit of momentum to the upside, might be worth the nibble, right? Otherwise, if you got some patience, if you're thinking BigBear.ai for the long term, and again, you got some patience here, look for the retest around here. And actually, there's a gap right here. Look at this little gap. This is the gap I would go for. And it's right on this 20-day EMA. Ooh, we might have a good opportunity here. Tell your friends, BigBear.ai, look at that 20-day EMA right now, 721. If that thing can drop down to the low sixes, you might have just a nice pivot there back to the upside. You know, I don't got no crystal ball, but that's the level I'm looking at. If it breaks much past that, I'm looking down here, probably around, was it 513? About about $5 here. So let's look at this 20-day EMA. If we can't catch it on this Bollinger Band here, I'm thinking this 20-day EMA at this gap fill. This might be the one. All right. Oh, yeah, let's put in Sezzle real quick, and then we're going to take a look at some other stocks, and we're going to take your picks. We're going to move along real quick here. Sezzle. Sezzle. It was pretty much a... Ooh, yeah, it did crap the bed a little bit here. Not that much of a crap, but a little bit. Let's hear what the high is. High is 186. Right now it's at 152, so it's down about $30 since the high over the last 2 days here. You can see it crossed below the star search. So that's actually the first time it closed below the star search lane here this entire rally. Well, we had this one, this open, but the close was above it. Maybe this little indecision candlestick. But this bearish candlestick breaking the fast lane here. Again, that's the upper Bollinger Band standard deviation of 1. Look back period of 20. And then now we're hopefully finding some level of support around the 20-day EMA. But if we don't catch that level of support here, let's see here. I'm probably going to look somewhere... Maybe right here. Yeah, see, so I can't get too bullish on it right now. I needed to capture that 20-day EMA. That needs to be a level of support for the bulls. If not, it's not going to look good. Just a little crapping for Sezzle. That was funny, right? That it was, John. VBC is coming up to its all-time high. Will that be a resistance point? Yes, typically. That can be seen as a resistance, a prior high. So you're trending Thursday. Let's scroll down. Let's do big movers. These are some really big movers in the market today. I'm just going to graph these real quick. All right, first one we got Toro. Look at this. Toro, greatly undervalued, but value has been on the decline here. If we go to 3-month time period, growth rate 17%, sales growth rate negative 29%. This is a transportation shipping company here. Big jump up to the upside. But look at the valuation. It just keeps declining here. The only thing I do like is that the value actually ticked up with the candlestick here. But overall, I see the upper wick here. I can't get too excited, but just know that it is not quite overvalued. Even the huge jump, there might still be some value when buying this position. And if I go to, let's go back to a year chart. But yeah, that's a steady decline to the downside. I can't get too excited with that. Look at this calm here. Look at that. This thing is moving. 3.84. This is an electric components company here, Sequems. Big mover today. Very little wick at the top. Nice big body. It's back. It's in the fast lane. You can see the pinch here with the Bollinger Bands. Quite the pinch. A little dip to the downside. A nice pivot to the up. I like it. Which graph layout is this, right? This is my custom layout. Essentially, I got a 20-day EMA. I've got forecasted down at the bottom. I got growth rate, sales growth rate, earnings per share, RT for sense of trend, 20-day EMA, and then I did the Bollinger Bands for the star search, and then value. And that way we get some forecasted data, get some value perspective, and just get some basic technicals to get a sense of trend. Kind of gives us the big picture of the stock, fundamentally forecasted, that kind of stuff, along with the technicals as well. But I mean, look at that big jump up to the upside. That's Met C here, 1649. Big wick though. Big wick. I love this layout, Bill. It just gives me the power of the VectorVest software along, with just, I know Bollinger Bands isn't really, wasn't invented by VectorVest, but we use it a lot as far as the star search. That concept is kind of ours. And then the 20-day EMA, which is kind of, what a lot of, the market typically uses, right? Do you put DEW on your graphs? DEW, yes. If I'm utilizing market timing, yes, definitely. And that's my favorite signal. That's the swing trading signal right there. And it works time and time again. MP, look at finding this, look at this zone here. Still in the zone. But again, see if we get that breakout above 47. Tonight's video is on MP and all the updates you need to know about the Pentagon deal. Here's Kellogg, big mover again. We talked about Kellogg. Not much going on since then. We got Pelthos. Look at big upper wick. Big upper wick. I can't get behind that at all. This is just a steady eddy to the downside. Steady eddy to the downside. And it gapped up right to our valuation point. Look at this. The whole time, this is the first time RT is actually in favorable territory. Growth rate just went positive. And then earnings per share still negative. Wow, it was down a lot though. Qubit, or no, I thought it was Qubit. Q32 Bio Inc. Big wick at the top. That's losing that momentum. All right, we'll get out of there. Now, before we do this, let's just go to the market timing graph. First thing I want to look at, if we're going to see any weakness in the market, is going to be this GLBRT kicker, right? This GLBRT kicker, it combines green lights and the price column of the color guard with moving averages of RT relative timing, right? So you can see it gets us in pretty early, these moving averages off of bottom. Does a great job of keeping momentum here. We saw momentum wane right here. This would have been the time. If anything, that's when the primary wave was down and whatnot. And this time as well, if you were to take profits. But it's still keeping us in, right? And if we take a look at the signal here, here's the RT kicker combo. Oh. Zoom in past few months here. You see you get down arrows for the most part in a downtrending market. You got one little fakie here, no follow through. But as of right now, no down arrows. It's all up arrows. So if you want to look at the first sign of weakness, when the 10-day drops below the 15-day moving average of RT, that would be one, definitely. Let's see here. The other one is going to be the DEW layout. And this coincides with the DEW timing signal. You can see where in the DEW signal up still. This is my favorite swing trading signal. Definitely utilized by a lot of our customers for swing trading. Now for this, price action has to be above the 30-day weighted moving average. Which it is, right? DPO in positive territory. DPO has kept us in this up rally the whole time. So price action has to drop below that 30-day weighted moving average. DPO has to go negative territory in order to get a down signal. So look for the RT crossover. Look for primary wave. Those are going to be early signals, right? When the DEW goes down, you definitely know that the momentum to the upside is starting to wane. All right, let's see here. We don't have too much time left, so let's go ahead and put them in. How many likes do we got, Joey? You got 6 stocks. First 6 stocks to come across the comment section of the 6 stocks we're going to break down today. And don't put MP, UAMY, because that's tonight's video. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, one more. Bill U is in the video tonight, by the way. After Joby, it was SYM. That's the one I'm missing. SYM. All right, let's break them down here. Big movers today. It's going to be Joby Aviation up 7%. QS QuantumScape up 6.28%. Let's see here. A Yield Max here. Ultra Income down. Astera Labs also down. Now this Ultra Income, a lot of the analysis is going to be based off what the dividend pays for, okay? So just be careful because, these yield maxes can be very volatile in nature. But I do get the point of those high dividends. As far as these code, big movers up to the upside. Any kind of value here? Overvalued, way overvalued. Just as much overvalued. This is the only one. And that is an ETF, so that's probably why. RVRS, not fundamentally sound. You guys are, these are some risk-taking stocks here. These are very risky stocks. High momentum. All of these are high momentum except this utility one here. As far as forecasted data, not good. Not that great. You got Symbotic, SYM. Not half bad. 40 and 24. Here we go. Astera Labs, 144.53. These two are the ones for sure. These other ones, very, very risky. We're going to take a look at the charts, though, and see. Let's see UU at $10. That's a good one. I like that. We really miss him. Tell him we miss him big time. Amir, I told him that you guys have just... Well, what I told him was he is very fortunate is because not many people get the opportunity or the power of prayer from all around the world. I know a lot of people all around the world are sending him prayers, and I... reminded him that when I saw him, and that made him tear up a little bit. He may not want me to say that, but I love him to death, and he is special for that. Please talk about Netflix. Jerry likes Netflix, but Monday been going down big time. Please talk about Netflix. I like Netflix, Amir. I'm not going to talk about the graph right now, but overall it's good. Look at the 20-day EMA. Might be this pullback might be making some opportunities for the future here. If we look at Joby, that thing's rocking and rolling. Full body candlestick today. Yeah, it's extended from the star search. It's extended from 20-day EMA. I'm not going to go say jump in it, but if you're in it, you're along for the ride right now. 1240. Let's go back 2 years, see if there's any kind of level support. No level support or resistance, I mean. No, we're all time highs, it looks like. Yeah, keep going. Oh, there we go. The prior high, 1340. So if you see some resistance coming in at about $1, don't be surprised, right? Don't be surprised. We have Joby calls. Clove been getting all types of deals. Didn't know. Sell healthcare plan at Walmart. Then upgrades to $6, 160 million cash, no debt. Axon way down. Interesting, Amir. Axon. Looks like PFE wanting to break out. That might be a trade to put on your radar here. But Joby, I like that. It's already broken out. If you're in it, you're definitely in for the ride. But again, look out about $1 from now. Prior high. Might hit a level of resistance here. Might get a clear break. But just saying, you know, if you see some rejection in about $1 from now, I wouldn't be too surprised. QuantumScape, this looks good. Nice. It's in the fast lane. Pulling back a little bit here. It's extended. The sales, the growth rate, I can't get too excited behind it. Way overvalued. Not much great for forecasted data. It's had its move. This was the move here. And then you see it broke that. The consolidation there. Big body. So yeah, I'm not going to say jump in it right now. I'd be more concerned about profits. If you take out today's high for some confirmation, you want to ride it out a little bit, that's up to you. Here's Pure Cycle Tech. This is just a good stock. Lower left, upper right. Let's see if its fundamentals, not great, not bad. It's just kind of neutral. I mean, it's not good. It's negative and zero. Earnings per share is also negative. Way overvalued. I'm going to keep it on that 20-day EMA. If I'm going to play it, I want to get closer to that 20-day EMA. Look for the pivot, right? Stay disciplined. As long as it stays above that 20-day EMA, rock and roll it. And as far as Star Search, it's kind of short-lived after Star Search. So typically after this Bollinger Band, it's usually when the stock gets exhausted and likes to come back, as we've seen here. So if you are thinking about taking profits, near this high, or maybe if we get a little bit higher the next candlestick, but it may want to divert back to that Bollinger Band. SYM just hit a new high as of now. I wouldn't be surprised if we went up and retested this 48 level. As a 47.98, you're only about 60 cents from that level. But again, the momentum is there. As far as forecasted data, pretty good actually. 24, 40%. I like what I see there. RT relative timing. That RT, I mean, that does such a great job getting you into trades early. RT relative timing went favorable back in May 6th here. Price action then $22. So it's over doubled since RT's become favorable here. I know last time did this turn big around big, went way up, but is risky. Netflix. What is INR? I don't know what INR is. Any signs that the market could be turning down for July and August? Well, I think the revisions of the GDP being positive could set that to the side. It's going to be the trade deals. You know, I think, was it August 1st? The trades, or the tariff deals. We'll see if that comes into place or if they're going to kick it down the road again. I don't know. I'm not going to try to even predict what's going to happen with that. But as of right now, the market is rock and rolling to the upside. Everything in VectorVest is saying market's moving up. So I'm going to play it to the upside until it tells me otherwise, right? Here's A-Lab. I mean, look, a lot of consolidation here. It's just horizontal. Whole lot of consolidation. As soon as it tried to break out, it got right back in the zone here. So just be careful this one. I want to close above this $100 mark. Way overvalued. Forecasted data, not bad actually. Not half bad at all. Not bad at all. One stock I do want to look at real quick. I do want to look at SoFi. And what is it? MU, sorry. SoFi. So there's the breakout from this. Oh man, that was a beautiful breakout. Y'all remember I was talking about this line here before? We want to get above this line. It's been rocking and rolling right through my resistance zone here. But just be careful because SoFi, I mean, it's way overvalued. This might be like a short squeeze candidate. It's moving from $10 to $20. I'm not exactly sure. Anybody know why SoFi is moving in the first place? Forecasted data, 39%, 14%. I like that. But what I don't like, look at this. Right now, for $20, you're only getting 39 cents earning per share. Which back here, you got 10 cents in earnings per share. But it cost you a fraction, right? It was $6. So, what was it now? Actually, it hasn't really changed much. Because 6 times 4 is 24. Times 10, yeah. So really, actually, you're getting about the same earnings per share as you did down here as you are up here. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But I do like the rising in earnings per share. Nice steady rise in earnings per share. Sales growth rate faltering. I still like SoFi, but I really would not be surprised if we get a rollback and the retest at some point on this 1828. But again, I haven't really studied a whole lot on SoFi. It's been a while since I did SoFi because I did a video on SoFi. Like, I think it was back in here. Somewhere back in here. And it just didn't do anything. And then decided to rally. Go figure, right? Go figure. All right, everybody. We're about to wrap it up. What is it? Almost 3 o'clock here. Again, tonight's presentation. MP. Pentagon deal. Game changer for rare earths. Obviously, I did include some, critical minerals, antimony. I kind of lump it all into one. These are the, the elements on the table, as you say, that we need, and that China has a monopoly on, essentially. SoFi, regulatory tailwinds on crypto trading, blockchain remittances. Okay, yeah, interesting. What a nice chart, that SoFi. I made a bigger bet on this one when I went in. I feel like a blind squirrel that finally found a parable. Ryan, where are you going? We have another hour in the post-market moves. What, John? Hey, Joey, did you hear about this post-market moves, Joey? We doing post-market moves today? Joey got real quiet all of a sudden, John. I'm just messing, Joey. All right, everybody. You guys enjoy your afternoon. Let's just see here. Let's just see if we're holding that. It did drop from 1.12 to 1.11. We're still in a primary wave up situation. Tomorrow, we have to stay above 73.9. Right now, we're right there at 74, right? So if we get a down day tomorrow, tomorrow is Friday, or down day Monday, we could potentially get a primary wave down. If we get that primary wave down, I'll do a short. I'll let you know, and we'll see what's going on here. Can you repeat what you use for your Bollinger Band settings? Yes, smack this. I'll end on that note. Bollinger Band. So if you go to star search here, this is a very popular layout that we have. Let's zoom in here. Pretty much you create a highway, right? You got the 3, which are the white, and you got the 1, right? So you want to be above the 1, above this yellow for the fast lane, right? Below it, obviously going to be a bearish inclination. So what I did was I just created a different layout with my own indicators. Instead of using both Bollinger Bands, I just used the one lane that I need. Oh, wait, not this one. There we go. I wish they would say with the same color. So, yeah. But it's a 20 period standard deviation of 1. That is the one, the requirements or the settings for the star search. So I just took that, put in a different layout. Other than that, I think that's it. Everybody, I just want to wish you all a wonderful afternoon. I'm hoping the market goes just as well as it did today. Tomorrow we've got what do we got tomorrow? Mobile analysis. Bring your picks. Mobile analysis, noon. If you have access to VectorVest 7 at 2 p.m., we will be doing the stock analysis power hour within the community room. Come check it out. Again, if you're not a member or a subscriber to the VectorVest 7 software, trial. It's $9.95 right now. It gives you access for 30 days, especially if the market is top heavy and you're worried about protecting profits from the tariff dip essentially. Make sure you got the software on your side. That way it can keep you, or not keep you making money, but make sure you keep those profits, I should say, right? All right, everybody. Enjoy your afternoon. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.